Hi, I'm Trini, and I'm an alcoholic. You say hi, Trini. Hi, I'm Trini. I am born of alcoholics. You say hi, Trini. Hi, I'm Trini, and I am related to alcoholics. Hi, I'm Trini. For my first 33 years, I abided with alcoholics. And though with 35 years of sobriety and 22 years of a daily meditation practice, I still abide infiltrated by the conditioning of alcoholics. Now, why am I telling you this? Because I recently have learned something about identities, about being overwhelmed by them, about working with them, about separating from them, if just a little, to overcome the pain of clinging to them. And I want to share this with you. I have done years of therapy and meetings and group work and self-actualizing work and on and on and on and on and on. And still, when I moved to the Abbey, I still had my story about being an alcoholic running. Really, my main story was being the firstborn child of alcoholics. Those of you who have that history know exactly what that means. And although I had done a lot of healing, I still told this story to myself and others with the victim mind. So since being here, some years of practice have followed, and much of that victim mind has been transformed. I know with some conviction that the sutra I misappropriated earlier really goes like this. I am the heir to my karma. I am born of my karma. I am related to my karma. I abide supported by my karma. Whatever I have experienced, happiness or suffering, is a direct result of my own past actions, virtuous or non-virtuous. And I do believe this with all my heart. So recently, I was kind of blown away, and I think blown up, to have an experience that triggered a deep, powerful, visceral explosion of my conditioning as a child of alcoholics. And I have not had this in years. So, what happened? In reaction to a situation that was not all that big a deal, I felt powered over, I felt betrayed, I felt abandoned, and I responded with terror and rage. Now, in the moment, I couldn't have told you any of these words. My mind and body were simply awash in this powerful, triggered emotion, the sensation of being swept down a powerful river, bouncing through rapids without a raft. And at first, I just had to keep my nose out of the water to keep from drowning. Now, I know that powered over, betrayed, abandoned are not feelings. They are ideas about what someone else did to me. And just knowing that was the first stick I could grab onto, right? The first bit of rationality that reassured me that I wasn't going to die, I wasn't going to drown, and that I was seeing things through a distorted lens. But still, at first, that's as far as I could get. These are not feelings. These are not feelings. These are not feelings. Okay, then what are you feeling? Terror. Rage. Yikes! It's way more comfortable and safer to stick with betrayal and abandonment. Way more comfortable. And blame. That's when my Dharma practice started to kick in. Started to take shape, really, as kind of like a life buoy, because I know the blaming mind, and I know its antidote. I am the heir to my karma. I am born of my karma. I abide supported by my karma. And this horrible burning feeling that has taken over my body and mind is the wheel of sharp weapons returning full circle as a result of my own past actions. Nothing more. The waves of rage and sorrow and shame began to subside. And whatever actions I do for good or ill, whether stimulated by reactivity from childhood trauma or done with the frontal cortex engaged, whether done out of anger or with loving kindness, whatever actions I do, I will be the heir. So once that was clear, I could work with this, analyze it with a clearer mind, and apply more antidotes. Now this process unfolded over days. It's still unfolding. Not minutes, not hours. But there's much to learn from it. And while I can still feel the aftershocks in my body, I can share a few things I've learned. 1, humility. Whatever arrogance arises from thinking you've settled a chronic affliction or afflictive patterns is just arrogance. Or the thought that I have somehow risen above my past. Well, risen above is arrogant and a wrong-headed paradigm. That's clear. 2, I have learned that familiarity with the antidotes works. Now, I tried to antidote the emotions from the start, but they were really just too powerful. I could only just be with them. I could observe the sensations, observe the story, but that one about the karma, that this is a result of my own past actions, is a potent one for me. It's well practiced, and I'm really glad I have it. And then the third thing I've learned that I want to share about, and this is harder to describe, but I think it's more important, even the most important, is an insight into working with the trickiness of the identities. I certainly identified for a really long time with my alcoholic family system, and I have worked very hard to heal from that system and to dismantle that identity. And I would say I've loosened it a little bit, I've separated it from it, but the basic causes and conditions that brought it on are still at work. So given the right circumstances, that conditioning can come roaring back. And I guess it's possible that that will happen to the path of seeing. I don't know. But this also helps me see how dismantling identities by reflecting on reasonings that deconstruct the self is so very helpful. And it's not just on the ultimate level, but on the very everyday conventional level, because that's where the suffering is. The suffering is on the everyday conventional level. So when Venerable talks about breaking down our identities, she's not saying we deny our experience and our conditions. She's saying we need not be bound by the pain that comes from clinging to them. That's different. I get why I was so freaked out. I get that the days and days of processing were extremely possible. And I also get there's no one to blame and no one is at fault. And I see the power of the Dharma medicine is helping me to understand and work with all of this. So in the pushback that we hear from time to time about this teaching about dismantling identities, I think this distinction is extremely clear. As we talk about on a conventional level, we do not need to cling to our identities, whatever they are. It does not mean we deny where we came from and what our experience is. It means we don't have to respond to the pain of clinging to it. I have not apologized yet to the people involved. I will when I feel authentically genuine about it. I will for those kind people online who want to say go to a meeting. I will. And as for the Dharma, keep coming back. It works.